Hey everyone, it's Jasmine from Jasmine's Astrology, but you can call me Jay. And for today's video, I'm going to chat about the full moon in Libra. So this is happening on April 6th at 12:34 a.m. Eastern. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. Huh. Um, that's happening at 12:34 a.m. Eastern at 16 degrees of Libra. And before we really get into it, I want to share this because I find it just fascinating. But did you know that Easter is always the Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox? So, spring equinox, full moon, Easter. Like, that's how the date is determined by moon cycles and seasonal cycles. And I don't know, that feels real witchy to me for some religious stuff. But, anyways, maybe you already knew. Maybe that's not that fascinating for you. I have just learned it and I'm like mind blown. So, anyway, had to share. As always, a full moon is all about illumination and revelations and seeing the light and seeing things clearly that might have been previously confused or muddled. And right now, like with no other major activity happening in our Libra house or in the houses surrounding our Libra house, the spotlight feels especially bright and potent right now in that area of the chart. There has been a lot of focus on the other side of the chart, basically from Aquarius to Cancer. So, this bright light of the full moon is really drawing our attention to that area of our chart and that area of our lives. The specific area of life will be different, of course, for everyone, depending on where our Libra house is, like what house Libra is ruling in your chart. But what this brings collectively is an energy of peace and diplomacy, of connection and collaboration, of negotiation and compromise, and trying to find common ground. Our relationships, whether romantic or friendships or coworkers or whatever, and the work of being in relationship and our patterns and our behaviors in relationships are potentially really front and center for us under this full moon. It could be that we just haven't had time for certain relationships as of late, and we come to realize now that they're really in need of our attention. Or maybe there was some kind of break or friction within certain relationships that now, under this full moon, have the potential to be repaired. We have a chance to sort of cool down any hot or heated situations. And part of that, I think, probably comes through some level of communication, some kind of back and forth between you and another person. The moon is in an air sign, so we're more likely to want to express our emotions, to verbalize whatever it is that we're feeling. And I think that we can find comfort through connecting and sharing with others. Our mood will be very affected by imbalance and disharmony. And we're going to strive to figure out pathways to peace and how we might be less destructive and more collaborative as we move forward. And I think in order to figure that out, we have to be in conversation with others to some extent to work all of that out to find that common ground. But I think that being in connection, being in conversation will be relatively easy with Venus as the ruler of this lunation. Venus is currently in her other domicile of Taurus, which lends a lot of supportive energy to the moon. Venus is very well set up for providing for the moon while it's in one of her signs. And Venus wants us to be in harmony with others, to be in connection, and to meet others halfway by finding that common ground. Venus wants peace. Venus also really wants pleasure and leisure. So, those themes and topics are very much in the mix as well. Anytime we have a lunation ruled by Venus, we might be realizing where those things have been lacking for us as of late, or how we might even derive more pleasure from our relationships. Now, at the time of the full moon, Venus will be forming a sextile with Neptune and Pisces. I should say that it will be applying to that sextile because the aspect won't actually fully perfect until the following day. But Venus is only a degree away at the time of the full moon. So I think this aspect, this sextile with Neptune, is very much in play. Now, Venus sextile Neptune is very creative and spiritual. It's very soft and tender. It's really compassionate. It leads us towards forgiveness. And I think it might help us to really surrender to those Venusian invitations for pleasure and leisure. I think the compassionate piece plays a really nice balance, cooperation, collaborative note, I guess you could say, like with the Libran energy of looking to compromise and harmonize. If there are relationships that are in need of repair, there's maybe an ease here with Neptune of just being able to let go of whatever caused the friction in the first place. The peacemaking energy is really emphasized. There's a sensitivity that might help us to understand a little better where the other person is coming from. And it's potentially very cleansing, especially if we are thinking about just letting things go, letting the past be in the past, and figuring out how to come to that same page, to that common ground to move forward. There is something about this combo that really suggests that whatever connections we are able to repair and heal under the full moon might then open the door for creativity in some way. Like maybe these relationship issues have been the cause of some sort of blockage as of late. And then when we clear that up, when we cleanse that away, that really opens up the channel for creativity to flow that much better. And maybe at this point, our need to express emotions and verbalize those feelings kind of turns towards more creative outlets and artistic practices. We might also experience a kind of craving for closeness and connection. And hopefully, we have been able to feed some of that craving through the relationship exploration under the full moon. But regardless, we might discover that the only way to truly satisfy this desire is to make space for something a little more spiritual, for being in connection with something beyond our tangible realm, beyond our tangible relationships. And maybe that's even the relationship that we're repairing. I mean, if you are somebody that works with ancestors or spirit guides or anything of that nature, this full moon could be more about connecting deeper and collaborating with them. So, some of us will definitely want to make space for meditation, for pulling tarot cards, for journaling, for any of the rituals that we like to do with the full moon, things like that. Or maybe it's that after a day spent in repair mode around those relationships, we just find that we need that space for kind of vibing out and meditating and journaling and all that kind of stuff. So I love the vibey vibes of this whole full moon. Could there be some heightened emotions or drama? Of course, that is just part and parcel with a full moon, but all the different factors at play really seem to suggest something a little more chill and soothing. And I think it's a great time to really take advantage of all of these cooperative vibes because the next two lunations are eclipses. And the day after the full moon, Mercury will be heading into its shadow phase or its retrograde phase, meaning that the retrograde is just around the corner. So, this full moon, this Venus sextile Neptune feels like a really good opportunity to just get on the same page, to smooth over some edges, and just, get ourselves in the best place possible before heading into all of the retrograde and eclipse chaos. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want to share how you're celebrating this full moon. I would love to hear about it. And if you are loving these videos, I would really appreciate your likes and subscribes. They all matter and make me feel great. And I really appreciate it. And it helps this channel grow, as I'm sure you've heard on every YouTube you've ever listened to, but it's true. So, either way, thank you so much for being here. I'm super grateful for you watching. And until we meet again, I'll catch you in the cosmos.